What did you just see? What do you think did you just see? What do you think did I intend for you to see? And what do you think did I intend for you to feel when watching this? Did you feel anything at all? Does it matter? What's definite is you saw a man and a woman moving together in space and time. The type of movement, as some of you may know, may be referred to as contemporary dance. The arrangement of movement in a certain order, with a certain intention and in harmony with a certain piece of music, may be called choreography. As a choreographer, you need to have a strong curiosity about the human body and its diverse possibilities to move and to think about movement. On top of that, you need to be very curious about the world and might also want to have a strong drive to tell stories through movement or engage in something that really matters to you. An opinion, an idea, a question, a critique. Something that moves you in any sort of way. But if that's all the things you need to be as a choreographer, what do you need to know as a person watching contemporary dance? I might have studied dance for years, and I might have read every book about dance there is, and I might be able to pretend to know everything there is to know about the history and the presence of the dancing human being. But most of you most likely haven't, and most of you most likely don't. So does that not completely isolate you from me when watching contemporary dance? Does that not completely isolate my art form from your understanding? But why then create contemporary dance at all, if not for the whole world to see it and to understand it and to fall in love with it? All I know is that when I create work, I most definitely want the whole world to see it, and at best I want any person from any sort of background to feel something when watching it. All the while, it doesn't really matter to me what exactly people feel. It might be joy or sadness, fascination or dislike, maybe even boredom or the simple appreciation of beauty. But whatever it is, I hope it is something. When people try to describe what dance is, they often refer to it as a language that's able to cross boundaries, a language that's common to us all. The human being, the human body, the human emotions, and the human movement in space and time. But why then? Why do so many people coming to my performances come to me afterwards and say, Suse, I really like your work, or Suse, I really didn't like your work, but I didn't understand it. Suse, if only you had told me beforehand what your work was actually about, then maybe I could have enjoyed it much more. And this is the worst. Suse, I will not come to your performance because I don't care about dance, because I don't understand it. Is there really so much there is to understand about dance that you're able to enjoy it? Do you think you need to understand contemporary dance to be able to appreciate what is being shown to you? Do you want to understand it? Well, let's take a look at what has been shown to you today. I want you to try to remember the choreography you just saw, and I want you to think about the questions that I posed at the very start. What did you see? What do you think did I intend for you to see? What did you feel, and what do you think did I intend for you to feel? Maybe you can take a few seconds to contemplate. So I will now try to give you the satisfaction of explaining to you what you actually saw. And Alexander and Fiona are going to go into the first movement again. So what you see here is a man and a woman moving together in space and time. You see them simultaneously struggling to hold onto each other's arms, shoulders, upper bodies, and to push themselves upward maybe. And their focus is mostly upward as well, as if pushing through an invisible force and reaching something. The movement is bound and slow. Alexander then grabs Fiona to lift her onto his shoulders. She keeps on pushing upward. He then starts slowly bending his knees and twisting and turning his upper body, while she seemingly tries to avoid touching the ground with her feet. Thank you. So maybe this short scene and this short analysis of it is actually everything you need to know about the choreography. Maybe there's more to it. The choreography you just saw, or the first part of the choreography you just saw, is called der Strom, the current. It is a duet inspired by the story of a father and a son struggling to get away from something, whilst at the same time trying to reach something new. A new country maybe to call their home, or a better life. It is a choreography about their journey across and through water to reach a new place, and it is a story of both of them trying to save each other, trying to hold on to each other so as not to drown. And maybe this choreography is something, or a way for me to try to comprehend the horrors that refugees must go through when crossing the seas in hope for a better life. Mothers and fathers and children. And maybe it is my way of trying to comprehend or trying to cope with the sadness that I feel when hearing of the fates they so often suffer. And this is definitely something that moves me And this is definitely something that I want to share with the world. Because I don't understand how anything like that can happen anywhere and how we can let it happen. So I want as many people as possible to see something in the choreography and feel something when two moving, feeling and breathing human beings perform it. But what if I told you that everything I just said was a lie? What if I told you that the choreography is actually about masculinity and femininity? It's a study on two opposing forces, battling each other and negotiating. A play with tension and tenderness, harmony and disharmony, pushing and yielding. Would that make the other interpretation any less believable? Would that change anything about how you feel about the work? And would it matter? What changed in your perception of the dance, knowing all the things that I've just told you? If you had known all of these things beforehand, do you think you would have viewed the choreography differently? What would you have gained from any prior information given? And most importantly, what would you have missed? So, does it even matter what the choreographer wants to tell you if the interpretation and the feelings about the work are allowed to be as diverse as possible? So is the key to understanding contemporary dance to maybe not try to understand it at all? Well, this is what I can tell you, and I might be completely wrong. Contemporary dance is whatever you want it to be. Open your eyes and your mind, and you might find something in it. And you might find that you understand much more about it than you ever thought you would. Or, and I will quote one of my professors from London now, or not. And that's okay too. I will now invite you to look at the second part of the choreography with me. I will invite you to look at it with all the knowledge that you've just gained, and I will also invite you to look at it with your mind as a tabula rasa, and whatever you do and whatever you see, nothing you will see or feel is wrong or right. And I will not tell you what will happen in the end, and maybe you will never know, but you can try to find it in your heart to see something in it and feel something about it. And that whatever you feel, it will be your reality, and it will be true. And it will be what you see and what you will make of it. Thank you.